And thanks for being here. All right. You might be wrapping up your Pen Tool Basics project, and I want to show you a couple of things that will help you get to the end. First of all, we're looking at this prompt, and this whole composition part asks us to arrange our shapes so that we create a composition, resizing our shapes and lines to fill the entire artboard, but leave some negative space and overlap your elements to create a sense of unity, space, and rhythm. So we're going to do that right now up in Illustrator. So yeah, you might have a few items or a few objects that you've created in Illustrator to represent some of the concepts I want you to. And first thing I want to do is check this out and resize and rearrange some of these things to kind of help them feel like a unified composition so it works together. What's up, Tommy?
I locked myself out of the door.
Then so the key's inside there?
No, I gave you the key.
Oh, you gave it back to me. Oh, okay. You you can unlock it so you can keep it unlocked. All right. So here we are. I've got some of these objects and they're all spaced out and they're all pretty tiny. And the first thing I would suggest is, in order to create a unified composition, utilize all of your artboard. So we're going to check out some of these and start to resize them. So if I select things with the selection tool, I usually get a bounding box, and I'm able to go grab the outside corners of things in the bounding box to start to resize. Sometimes you end up distorting things. So if you want to resize something without distorting it, it's easy to hold down the Shift key. It maintains the ratio of the height to width. Now one of the requirements for this project is to show that some of these things have negative space. I'm going to utilize the negative space in this object and make sure that I can see some other things behind it so I can tell that there's a hole in this object. I think I'll grab that one and I'll resize it. Is it okay to have an object that goes outside of your artboard in this project? What do you think? It's totally fine to have an object that goes outside of the artboard. So when you export your final version of the project, anything that is outside of the artboard is going to kind of go away unless we change one of the settings. But yeah, it's totally fine to have objects that go outside of the artboard. Let's see, I have this transparent object and I want to make sure that this one has some things underneath it so I can tell that it's transparent. So I can see that the value of the black lines there changes as this transparent triangle overlaps it. But let's say I want some of these things to be in a different order. Let's say I want that to be up in front of that triangle so the triangle doesn't cover it up. We're going to go look at our layers. And if you don't see your layers, it might be this. And this has a few layers of information that I've created so far. So let's see. I wanted this ellipse to be up above that triangle. So I might have to grab it and bring it up into the layer the triangle is in. And now it's on top. So it will show up directly in front of that triangle instead of behind that transparent object. Let's go manipulate a couple of other things. Let's see, is that about where I want it to be? Yeah, I think I still want that one in front of those lines. And I want to maintain that circle, so I'm holding down Shift so the height and the width ratio doesn't change. If that circle's outside of the artboards, am I cool with it? Yeah, it's totally fine. All right, this actually you might be able to see if I highlight the right area. Hey, there's an object that was completely invisible because it didn't have a stroke and it didn't have a fill. So if I didn't want that, here's where it's visible in my layers. So let's see, if I don't want that object anymore, I can just select it and hit delete. There it goes. Let's see, this organic object. Let's figure out, I think I need the regular selection tool. And let's make that fill up a little bit of space. Do I want that in front of everything? No, not really. I'll just leave it about there. If I need to rotate something, well, there's a rotation tool over here, but I can also select something. If I hover near the corner of the bounding box for that object, I'll probably get, there it is, a rotation tool. So let's see, rotate that a little bit. Maybe that's where I want it in my composition. And I think everything is unified. I have lots of things that are overlapping. So I can see that this object overlaps that object. This object overlaps those lines. Like we talked about before, this object overlaps that feature, and this overlaps here. So I can see that this is transparent and this has a negative space in it. All right. If I've got everything how I want it, I'm ready to export this project so I can turn it in. Let's go look over here. In the file management part of the assignment prompt, let's see. I think I've included everything in the checklist. Did I need to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10? Did I need to have 10 objects in order to fulfill all the requirements for that project? Probably not. Yeah, I think I'm there. So you can get it done without having an individual object for each of those checkbox items. Let's see. Export your composition as a PNG file. And this is actually a lot like what it's going to look like in Illustrator. Let's see. We're going to save it to a folder. Yep. And then yeah, I think we can do that. So let's say we're all done with this. Here we go. Going up to File. This is the same place where you can save your project, except here, going down to Export. And in fact, let's go ahead Export As. Click. Let's cancel because I want to see it better. Export As. Click. All right, this is our export window. And first of all, that's the name of the project right now because we named it. This is the format that it exports as, and you have a lot of different things you could use. The assignment prompt asks you to make a PNG file, although you could make a JPEG file. You could make it a SVG file, a scalable vector graphic. The assignment asks for PNG, so I'm clicking on PNG. We have things that go outside of the artboards, so I want to click on Use the Artboards. If I had more than one artboard, I might have to deal with this, but this project only has one. All right, here is a shortcut to, we're saving it to the desktop right now, but if you need to go navigate, you might be able to find the desktop. Let's see. You might have to go find the desktop in order to, save it in a folder that has your name, kind of like that. Whoa, 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 whoa. And everything's ready to go. It has a name. It's going into a folder that has your name on the desktop. The file format is a PNG. Hitting export. It's going to ask me just a couple of things. This is about the resolution. The assignment asks to use 300 pixels per inch. And this is where you can choose a background color. And this lets us kind of know that it's a transparent. We really aren't working with a background color in Illustrator unless we set it up or unless you choose it here. So I'm hitting it on transparent and we're going to hit OK. First name, last name. Yep. At this point, I can go click on the folder where I exported it and look at that. Here is that file. I can see a little preview of it. If I open it with an app-like preview, yeah, preview shows gray behind all of the transparent features in that composition. So let's see what else I can open it with. Let's go open that with just like a web browser. Is Chrome open? Yeah, Chrome is open. So I open it up in Chrome. It shows white behind all of those things. This would be a really easy, at this point, it'd be really easy to upload and turn in your project by navigating to the folder where you kept it and dragging it right into your Google Classroom assignment. Hopefully that helps you out. Good luck with that, and thanks for watching.